Let me start off by saying that I'm not making this video to hate on coin collecting or coin collectors. I think coin collecting is a great hobby and it definitely has its pros, and it's enjoyed by thousands of people. My goal with this video is to introduce the many positive aspects of stamp collecting to people who maybe never considered it, and in order to do so, I'm using coin collecting as a comparison. But before I let you know why stamps are better than coins when it comes to collecting, please be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post new stamp videos every week and I try to make them both educational and entertaining. And I cover everything from values to collecting tips and even the interesting history stories behind the stamps. So be sure to join the thousands of others who have already clicked that subscribe button down below. Okay, to start off, let's give some credit to coins. It definitely seems that there are more coin collectors than stamp collectors out there. There's more coin videos on YouTube. There's definitely more coin-themed profiles on TikTok. But does that mean that coin collecting is better than stamp collecting? You may be thinking that since there are so many more people who collect coins over stamps, it would be a better hobby to get into. However, the larger the market, the more saturation can occur. There are more dealers and more availability, and this can drive down values. But if the demand is higher than the supply, having more coin collectors could mean an increase in value. Coins also hold a metal value. Copper, nickel, silver, and gold all have value aside from collector or currency value. This can help coins hold their value despite supply and demand from collectors. So coins do have a one-up on stamps because of their metal value. That can act as an insurance against their collector value. But what about the collector value? The top three most expensive coins sold for 18 million, 12 million, and 9 million, while the top three most expensive stamps sold for 11 million, 9 million, and 5 million. Basically, there are rare examples in each camp worth millions of dollars. According to a recent study, stamps have a nominal annual return of 7%, versus precious metals, which are about 5%, and it also beats real estate and bonds. I'll admit that if there are more coin collectors than stamp collectors, it does give coin collectors a bit of an advantage over stamp collectors in the long term. Unless either hobby has a large increase of interest all of a sudden, coin collecting may outlast stamp collecting. But that's likely far into the future after we're all good and gone and could care less. Of course, these are all averages and won't apply across the board. There are certain stamps and coins that are more sought after and hold and increase their value more than others. So if you only collect coins from Uzbekistan or common stamps with birds on them, don't expect to get a 7% return on your investment. There are examples in each hobby that will outperform the other. If your main concern in collecting is holding or growing value over time, there are going to be examples of both stamps and coins that have historically achieved this. So it's more about selecting the right stamp or coin to invest in versus picking stamps or coins. On the collector value side, I'm going to call this a draw. Coins are still ahead, 0-1. Monetary value aside, I personally just am not attracted to coins. They are usually monotone, which means that they're only a single color. Plus, they only come in 3 colors, copper, silver, and gold, whereas stamps come in every color imaginable. There's also examples of special printed stamps that have holograms, fluorescent inks, scratch and sniff. Some are even made of fabric or foil, and the list goes on and on. Whereas coins, yeah, just 3 colors. So stamps definitely win as far as aesthetics go. But how about when it comes to the subjects found on stamps and coins? Coins generally only depict government officials or national monuments and symbols, but stamps not only depict these as well, but they also depict nearly every aspect and corner of a country's culture, from animals to food, from scientists to movie stars, from music to holidays, and more. In fact, I bet that there's a stamp for anything you can think of. Go ahead and mention a topic, person, place, or thing in the comments below, and if I can't find an example of a stamp that represents that, I'll send you some 100-year-old stamps for free. Okay, so again, there's no doubt that stamps take the point when it comes to subjects and topics. Now, let's talk about the emotion and stories behind stamps and coins. With coins, it's almost 100% unlikely that you can trace a coin back to its original owner or what it may have been used for to purchase in the past. There's just no intrinsic story behind the coin itself. Stamps, on the other hand, have lots of provenance and history behind their usage. Many stamp collectors collect covers, or envelopes with the stamp still attached to them. You can read the letter of a soldier to his parents, or a business deal from the 1800s. You get a sense of what life was like for people at the time a stamp was issued. You can also tell where the stamp was mailed from and its journey to its destination from the postmarks. Even with stamps off cover, some of them have postmarks of where they were from, or special overprints that can indicate when and where they may have been used. There are even some fancy cancels that some collectors seek, which adds an entirely new dimension and value to a stamp. So again, stamps take another point, and that makes stamps ahead 3-1. Okay, let's talk about topical collecting. When it comes to coins, you might collect from a specific country, or perhaps even a specific metal like gold, or specific issues like commemorative coins or wheat pennies, or maybe even coins with errors. And that's about the extent of topical collecting you'll find with coins. Plus, with coins, they often issue the same design year after year after year. Now, compare that with stamps. You could also collect a specific country, time period, and yes, there are plenty of stamps with errors, but unlike with coins, hundreds of new stamp designs are released every single year. You can also build a collection of stamps featuring specific topics, like stamps with ships on them, or cat stamps. How about a collection of Elvis stamps, or even a collection of only purple stamps? Or you might want to only collect blocks of stamps, or sheets of stamps, or stamps mailed to Antarctica, or stamps delivered by train. How about stamps that have been to space, or stamps of Disney characters? I personally have a small collection of advertising covers from the 1800s, and I just love the artwork and the marketing tactics that they used back then. The list goes on and on, so when it comes to a variety of ways to collect, stamps again are the clear winner. Now the score is 4-1. And finally, just to put a nail in the coffin, stamps are more economical in terms of transportation and storage. Coins are thicker than stamps, so you need more space to store them. You can fit thousands of stamps in a single stamp album, whereas you'll likely need a large safe to store the same amount of coins. Coin books only hold a few dozen coins, so you'll need lots of them, or if you encapsulate them, that takes up even more space. Coins are also heavier than stamps, so it may cost more to package and mail them, whereas stamps literally weigh nothing and can ship for the lowest price available. From a storage perspective, stamps are more economical and again take another point. That's 5-1 if you're counting. But just so we don't leave coins in the dust, we can credit them with one more point, and that would be for durability. Coins are metals, so they can literally last for thousands of years, whereas stamps are paper and over time will begin to deteriorate if not stored properly. And even if they're stored properly, I still think that at some point in the far future, the paper would just eventually turn to dust. But that is so far out in the future that I don't think this should be a concern when it comes to determining which one to collect. But we'll still give this final point to coins. And the winner between stamp collecting versus coin collecting is, drumroll please, the final score of 5-2, stamps are the undisputed champion. But I should also say that you don't need to pick one or the other. There are many people who collect both, so you can have the best of both worlds. I hope this video sparked some interest into the hobby of stamp collecting for some of you. If you found this video inspiring or entertaining, please be sure to give it a like. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, as always, best of luck and happy collecting.